Once again here on Boxing News today, and we do have some interesting stories as usual lined up ready for you. I'll start off with just a couple of previews, upcoming fights. Callum Walsh and Ismail Villarreal, they're going toe-to-toe for the WBC Silver Super Welterweight title. And Callum says, every fight is getting bigger and bigger. I'm knocking people out, and the opponents haven't been giving me tough fights. So the fights have to be bigger and better. This is going to be another test to see how good I am. His opponent, Villarreal, said, I'm clearly the underdog in the minds of many, but I'm here to showcase my skills and be victorious. Fair enough. I'll talk about it in a sec, but Jake Paul's opponent has been named a professional boxer, by the way. Good news for boxing fans. Because, quite frankly, Jake Paul will attract his fans to his fights and thus to boxing in general. That's my opinion. Let's have a quick look at the undercard of the Benavidez-Andre fight coming up. As we all know, there's a Showtime pay-per-view countdown set for Saturday, November 25th, right? And leading up to the David Benavidez and Demetrius Andre fight from the Michelob Ultra Arena in Mandalay Bay Resort in Las Vegas, the action is topped by former world champion Sergey Lipinets. He's 17-2-1, taking on Michael Lazarza Alriviera, 24-1, in a 10-round super lightweight fight. Also on the bill, Vito Mielnicki, 15-1, faces Alexis Salazar, 25-5, in a 10-round super welterweight attraction. And the live stream will begin on Showtime Sports YouTube channel and Showtime Boxing Facebook page if you're interested. Let's have a quick look here. Retired heavyweights Donovan Razor Ruddock, now 59 years of age, and James Lights Out Tony, 55, are scheduled to meet in the ring this weekend in an exhibition match that is billed as a competitive fight. Oh, stop it. The action takes place inside Kingston, Jamaica's National Indoor Sports Center and can be seen, holy crap, on pay-per-view for $29.99 US dollars on Fight TV, apparently. Oh, this is too funny. In addition to undercard bouts, the price of admission includes a live performance by Grammy Award-winning King of the Dancehall, Beanie Man, and a special appearance by commentator Amir Tyson, son of Iron Mike Tyson. Boy, if that doesn't start your day off right. Okay, let's have a quick look here at a fight that got canceled. Did I mention it the other day? I think so. Yes, I did. Anyway, let's double check this one. Comedian Promotions has abruptly announced that the event featuring a well-publicized encounter of WBC number 5, 130-pounder and WBO AB champ Mazunori Rakishi and Carlos Flores this coming weekend was canceled. Yes, I did read this. I should have just got to that part. Since the Mexican's passport was found stolen just before his departure from Mexico City. So let's have a quick look and see what else we've got lined up today. Oh, yes. This is interesting for the simple fact that this fight is being broadcast, I believe, by the BBC and it's being streamed on their website for free. Oh, it's being shown on something called Channel 5 over in the UK. So this is going to appeal to my British listeners and viewers. Harlem Eubank is taking on Timo Schwarzkopf. And as I said, he's going to be streamed free. And this will also feature Roman Fury on the undercard. Harlem Eubank, by the way, is the nephew of Chris Eubank Sr., and he's undefeated as a professional and looking to work his way into a world title shot, aren't they all? He last fought in July, beating Ishmael Ellis in an entertaining fight, and now he takes another step up. Schwarzkopf is 22-5 in the pro ranks, but picked up a big win over ring veteran Miguel Vasquez in his last outing. And now he'll be looking to spoil the party on the South Coast. I believe it's taking place in Brighton. Also on the card, as I said, is Tyson Fury's brother Roman, who has a 2-0 record and is hoping also to progress his career quickly. So this clash will be shown on Channel 5 in the UK. You can also live stream the action on My5, which apparently is an app available to download on either your mobile or tablet device, says Channel 5. Coverage begins UK time 10 p.m. See if there's anyone else of note here. Harlem Eubank, Sultan Zorbak, Tommy Welsh, Roman Fury, Tiernan Bradley, Harvey Dykes. Nope. That pretty well rounds out. Pretty big card, pretty long card, gotta admit. Let's move along to good old Jake Paul. Great headline, although it's a question. I don't really like questions as headlines, but nonetheless, can Jake Paul finish 2023 with a better record than Terence Crawford? Love that headline, although it's a question. But anyway, so let's see what this is on ESPN, by the way. Let's have a quick look and see if I can see who wrote it. Doesn't really matter, but it's on ESPN. Here's a surprise. Jake Paul could end 2023 with a better record than many of the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters, including Terence Crawford, Dimitri Bivol, Tyson Fury, and Oleksandr Usyk. But to get that win, Paul needs to face his first real professional boxer. Former heavyweight champ Deontay Wilder hasn't fought this year, and chances are he'll have 0 fights in 2023. And middleweight champion Jermell Charlo, who hasn't fought in 2.5 years, returns on November 25th in a non-title fight against Jose Benavidez Jr. WBC interim super middleweight titleist David Benavidez, Jose's brother, faces Demetrius Andrade on the same card's main event, and the winner getting closer to a fight against undisputed champ Canelo Alvarez. That remains to be seen. November 16th, same card in Las Vegas, Shakur Stevenson faces Edwin Dos Santos for the vacant WBC lightweight title. Emmanuel Navarrete defends his WBO junior lightweight title against Robson Conchezo. And can this be a setup, by the way, for Stevenson Navarrete mega fight in 2024? So a few of the ESPN writers chime in. I believe this is Mike Coppinger, potentially. Let's have a quick look here. Nope, Mrs. Mark Riamonde says, don't be surprised if Jake Paul ends the year with more wins than pound-for-pound fighters Crawford, Usyk, and Fury. It's almost certain to happen. Paul announced Wednesday that he'll face Andre August on December 15th. August has a 10-1 record. By comparison, Paul is 7-1 in 8 pro bouts, but he's fought only once since November 2019. In other words, it's the exact kind of foe Paul's critics have been screaming at him to face since he was 2-0, a real boxer. That's what they want. There's no doubt those same critics will be the ones writing "who" underneath social media posts. It's going to take a long time for Paul to make the boxing public and media believe in him as a legit purveyor of the sweet science. Maybe it'll never happen. But this next fight will represent something of a reset for Paul. He and his team have been focusing on money fights and huge events. That has resulted in him beating high-profile MMA fighters in their late 30s or 40s, like Nate Diaz and Anderson Silva. Who could fault Paul for doing that? This is prize fighting. There will surely be more blockbuster fights like the aforementioned ones for Paul down the road. In the short term, he's going to be working on building his record and improving his skills. So yes, expect Paul to be 2-1 by the close. 2-1. All right. I thought his record was 7-1. But anyway, so yes, I expect Paul to be 2-1 by the close of 2023, barring something unexpected happening. Sorry in advance to Bud and the Gypsy King. Alrighty. I want to mention this article, which I've placed the URL in the description below. It's a story about women in the ring. It starts off mentioning Amanda Serrano, Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor, breaking that glass ceiling and taking women's boxing to new heights in terms of recognition, popularity, and financial gain. Prior to those fighters, Christy Martin, Lucia Riker, and Layla Ali also fought tooth and nail to get those things, but didn't quite get there. Besides that, if we go back a little bit further to the 1970s, there were names like Miriam Tremere, Kathy Davis, Sue Fox, and Pat Pinada. They fought too, but the walls were built even higher to keep them out of the sport, says this article. We all might know Sue Fox's name. She runs a WBAN, Women's Boxing Archive Network, and she's also the founder of the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. And some of these other fighters you may have heard, and others you may have heard of, courtesy of Natalie Brown, and also a lot of our other commentators have really spoken highly of women in the sport and how well they've been doing, but they owe it to these kinds of fighters back in the 70s. Why? Because there's going to be a movie, a documentary coming out by Georgina Camilleri called The Right to Fight. And it goes back to those days in the 70s, considering that the historic record of women's boxing back in the 70s is sketchy on a good day. But at the end of 90 minutes, Right to Fight stands as an entertaining tale of bizarre time in this bizarre sport, but also the historic record that was needed in a documentary format. Let's keep in mind, and I'll end here because please go to the article. I put the link below. Please recall the words of the late Jim Jacobs, best remembered as Mike Tyson's first manager, who says, quote, "A woman could never be a boxer just by the fact that a woman's role is of being a subordinate." I'll end it there. Please go to the article. Please go to see The Sugar Show on Talkin Fight. You can find that on our homepage quite easily, looking at episodes or shows. And of course, Brooke Deardorff, Millbrook is also often interviewing a lot of these women as well. So Talkin Fight's a huge supporter of women in the sport, and it's good to see a documentary coming out, The Right to Fight, documenting their struggle, especially when it comes to how men have perceived women in the ring. As we all know, I'm looking forward to Ebony Bridges and Avril Matthews, their big fight coming up, not to mention Taylor and Cameron. But on the other side of the fence here, scratch another good fight from December's lineup. Queensberry Promotions announced today that Hamzah Sheeraz is out of his December 2nd clash with Liam Williams after suffering a perforated eardrum, and that bout will not take place in early 2024. The show, originally slated to take place at the Copper Box Arena, now moves up to Friday the 1st and heads to York Hall. Gavin Gwynn, 16-2-1, faces Emiliano Masili, 42-0-1, 16 knockouts. Wow. For the European lightweight title, and someone who we've mentioned quite often on Talkin Fight, Sam Noakes, 11-0, 11 knockouts, fights Carlos Perez in a featured attraction, and also Moses Atuama, 6-0, makes a quick turnaround against a fighter to be announced soon. I'm going to close off with a couple of quick stories today, mainly in context to several other stories related to this subject matter. In a recent interview, Anthony Joshua has revealed that he would smoke maybe 6 spliffs a day before he shook his cannabis habit and became a professional boxer. Joshua, as we know, the former 2-time world heavyweight champion, is the subject of a November 7th episode of Louis Theroux Interviews, in which AJ discusses his upbringing, boxing career, and future plans. At one point in the latest episode of the BBC program, Theroux asked Joshua about smoking habit as a teenager, with the 34-year-old revealing, "I fell in love with the fitness regime because when I was a young lad, I was on the ganja, the haze. If you can't get these distractions out of your life, you can't put your full focus and attention on improving as an athlete. So for me, when I stopped smoking, I was able to progress. I was smoking maybe like 6 spliffs a day, wake and bake, baby. My mom's not going to be happy about this, right? But I was probably about 13 when I started." So maybe some words of advice for Jared Anderson as he moves forward in his career in the heavyweight division as well. To close us off, let's finish with an absolutely fantastic teaser of a headline. Frank Warren set to deliver a historic night of boxing on December 23rd. We all recall that date when Tyson Fury is supposed to fight Oleksandr Usyk. Likely now that will take place in early 2024. But Frank Warren has announced that there will be a boxing card 2 days before Christmas in Saudi Arabia. On goes his article to talk about Tyson Fury and their potential fight that was going to take place But this is the nuts and bolts of this particular article. And this is courtesy of Frank Warren and his historic night. There's going to be a big night in December, and we'll be announcing very soon. It will be massive. You're going to love it. I can't give you all the information at the moment, but everything is in the right direction for it to be a historical night in boxing. And it's going to feature boxers from all around the world. You'll be surprised by the names. There's some great British fighters too. Wow. There goes that headline right out the window. All right, boxing fans, thanks for joining me once again. Really appreciate your support. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you later on at 4 p.m. when I join Mike Orfish, Knuckle Up, Eastern Time, 4 p.m. And tomorrow I'll be back 11 a.m. Eastern Time here on Talkin Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you then. Thank you very much.